Let's talk about how they managed to come this way in Xinjiang, because it has been, as has been documented, has been shown to the public, there's been thousands of terrorist attacks since the 1990s, and the July 5th terrorist attack was extremely bad. That's why very serious, very important measures were taken to combat terrorism and separatism and extremism. So when you were there, ambassadors, did you ask the people, did you find out exactly what measures were taken to bring things the way they are, so that people are indeed peaceful and happy and able to focus on their lives instead of being afraid anymore?
Yes, you are right. The region has suffered with this triple menace of separatism, extremism, and terrorism, and we can relate to their sufferings and pain, because we in Pakistan also suffered for the last many decades this triple menace in our country, losing thousands and thousands of innocent lives, restriction to public property, and of course the peace was disturbed, the development process was affected. The same thing happened in Xinjiang. So this is not easy for any government to tackle with such challenges. But I would say that Chinese government took two things. I think the one was to, of course, eradicating with force. That has to be done. There are hardcore people, terrorists, who have to be tackled with force. And second was development. I think that the path that the Chinese government took was really had changed the landscape of the people, and realized them that they were on the wrong path. Because we met, as Ambassador of Palestine was saying, that we were able to meet families, local families. We went to a family. I was really impressed by the gentleman who had been an extremist, who admitted that. He said that I was on a wrong path. And then he was, of course, was given this training, and he was taught about constitution, law, how to be a responsible citizen. And now he's living a very peaceful life with his family, very proud. He has a very decent job. His house was, of course, subsidized, a beautiful house in a village where there were 5,000 of such houses and so many families living. And his children now are studying.
You can't hide that.
You can't hide that.
Yeah.
I mean, as you mentioned, he was so hospitable, so happy to receive us in his house. And his children are studying in very good universities, and he has hopes and aspirations for the children. He wants one to become a doctor, one a lawyer, one to go to he has 3 kids, one to go to join police service. So there he has those aspirations. And that was, I think, what the Chinese government have done while facing these challenges and helping people to come back to life and be a responsible citizen of the society.
Ambassador Mustafa, your country also suffered very terribly because of terrorism. How do you look at the way how China has tried to handle, to prevent especially terrorism?
Look, China has suffered from certain terrorist elements coming from the Xinjiang province. And now it's doing, as my colleague ambassadors have said, a fantastic job in addressing this issue. Fighting terrorism on the one hand, and building the Xinjiang economy and society on sound and healthy basis on the other hand. No other country in the world has suffered from exactly those terrorist groups coming from Xinjiang as Syria has suffered. In the past 10 years, at least 5,000 to 6,000 Xinjiang fighters came to Syria to fight against the Syrian people and the Syrian government. That was far beyond what one can expect. We are not enemies to the Xinjiang people, of course. Actually, we have great traditions and cultural relations with them. Those were elements that were brainwashed to become extreme terrorists, radicals. And they wreaked havoc in China, and they wreaked extremely far more havoc in Syria. And because we suffered from these groups, we, more than any other country in the world, understand and support the Chinese government's efforts to address the issue of radicalism and extremism in the Xinjiang province. What China is doing is the right thing. China, had America suffered from these guys, they would have done what they would have done in Afghanistan and other places. They would have gone and carpet bombed the Xinjiang province if America had suffered from these people. But Chinese government, with its wisdom and with its right approach to the issues, addressed the core issue. It's about development. It's about human growth, human development in the Xinjiang province. What China is doing in the Xinjiang province is 180 degrees in contrast to what America might have done if America had suffered from those groups. We have seen the reaction of America in Afghanistan, and we have even seen the fabrications and lies and myth of America towards Iraq that they used as a pretext to invade and destroy Iraq. What did the Chinese government do when it faced some terrorist attacks from the Xinjiang province? It went to the core issues, how to develop the society and how to prevent the people there from falling prey to the propaganda of the radical extremism in the Xinjiang province. So kudos to China and to the approach that China has taken in addressing this extremely important issue.